So, off to the Earth Cave. The first trip, since I'm only, what, level 9? Level 8 even. Whoa. Won't be that very long. I forgot to go to the inn. Okay, I'll just go back like this. That should save us all some time. Let's look at the same encounter. So about some of the theories I've used when making this hack. I really liked Final Fantasy, Pink Pop's Final Fantasy -1. But the thing that bugged me out the most was that a lot of the classes kind of looked the same. And basically you had 4 classes that felt unique and 8 classes that were, well, just mixes of others. So each time I played, I just took a bit of a mix of characters and kind of felt the same, even though I had 4 different characters than last time. To make it more interesting, I would take the 4 corners of the spectrum and focus on one or the other, so the parties would feel more unique. But I didn't like that really. I wanted to have more of that. Just to let you know, the 4 corners of the spectrum were physical attacks, physical defense, white magic, and black magic. Actually, to be more precise, in -1's case, it's more like black and white magic, which are called red magic in that game, and time magic, which is indirect spells. Because you had the Sage class in Final Fantasy -1, who could cast all the white and black magic spells that did direct things like healing and damage. And you had the Time Mage, who did the opposite, could only cast the buffs and the curses. Will 1 ice be enough to kill them? I don't think so. Let's see what happens. So when I first set out to make my own hack, it started a bit with a bit of fantasizing what classes could be like. And what I did was I took a piece of paper and I wrote down each aspect of the game which you could be good at, and I ended up at let's see, I think 10 different things. No, actually it was more than the amount of classes I have now. Let's see, 11, 13 things. 13 things. Shall I name them all now? I'll do my best. So yeah, to me there are 13 things you can be good at as a character in this game. First of all, of course, physical attacking, but not necessarily that, but basically how hard you hit, because it makes a difference when it comes to how much armor your opponents have. The monk, for example, in this game, he hits pretty well, but against an enemy with high armor, he doesn't hit that very good, because he has a lot of hits, but they're soft. So I divided that into 2 categories. Now here are images. These are the 2nd rank of undead. So we might need more than just a simple holy 1, but a holy 2. So yeah, hitting hard is something you can be good at, but also hitting often. Because hitting often is in another sense better, because once you start using buffs, in this case temper, well, it's better to hit often than hard. And in that sense, the monk is better for long fights, and the Viking is better for short fights in this game. So the 3rd one is armor, neglecting physical attacks. The paladin represents that in this game. what you can also do is avoid attacks, which is what the ninja does. Now, it's hard to balance that correctly in this game because of the way level ups happen. At max, you can increase your evasion by 1 per level. So I gave the ninja a very high evasion rating at the start of the game, and then it kind of creeps up at more or less the same rate as everybody else in the game. Yeah, the tricky thing is about high evasion rates is that because you can buff them in such a way that eventually you can't get hit. And now high armor kind of works the same. You can get to a point where you're always taking only 1 damage, but there are critical hits which neglect armor. So I don't like it when your enemy can't hit you at all. Oh, I've been talking so much, I don't even know if I visited the room to the bottom right. I'm going to take a quick peek. I just saved. Let's see. I think I did. No, I haven't. Oh, okay, good. Steel armor. It's even better than iron armor. Look at the difference. Armor 20 for steel and 15 for iron. So that's quite a difference. Speaking of armor. So evasion, I don't like the idea that it's possible to get max evade and then simply not get hit. That means you'll also avoid all the stun abilities and other things like that. Let's charm these fools. They're easy to charm. Then they'll fight for us, as you can see, and they hit pretty hard. Just even harder than we do. So that's helping out. So I didn't give the ninja too high of an evade because it would turn the game into, well, if you've ever done a white mage run for the original Final Fantasy, you were probably found out that the best way to beat the game is begin every fight by casting a bunch of evasion buffs, which is really tedious. And I don't want that to be a very winning strategy. Okay, it costs time, but it shouldn't be too easy to achieve that max avoidance of attacks. Crawls don't like bolt, if I recall correctly. So we've had the paladin, ninja, Viking, and monk so far. Magic resistance is also a thing, but it's not a big thing. Now the rogue has that. Hold on, it's better to park your ship here. One more fight. Because not that many enemies hit you with magical damage. It's mostly bosses. So having a high magic resistance won't help you that much. So even though it's one of the categories, I don't give it that much value. Hey, we can buy our first spell. Let's first want to sell something. Okay. Not much. Just to keep things clean. Oh, can't get it yet, and it's also going to take a while. Okay, I'm going to buy it anyway. Just like putting money on the bank, because I want this anyway. And then later on, when I have the money, I'll get some level 4 spells back in Elfland. Won't need them now. I should get them before I go fighting the Lich. So, magic resistance, the 5th one. Luck is a stat which influences 2 things. But still, to me, I think practically speaking, they're valued as 1. Namely, better encounters, being ambushed or getting surprise attacks and running away. Since you have, when you run away, you almost always have the other party members running away. So having a high luck rating won't really make that much of a difference because you're doing it together with a couple others and only one has to succeed. I don't know if that's correct logic, but it feels like that way in practice. So again, the rogue's luck high luck, I consider also to be one, basically a part of being something he could be good at. So the rogue's the one who's good at multiple things, and I'm fine with that because they're individually rather weak. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so we have, I keep thinking about magic, but I want to keep that for last. Okay, might as well do it. You have 4 schools of magic, and the first classes I designed basically focused on one school of magic each. So I had the Warlock, who would be doing the nuke spells, the Wizard doing the offensive buff spells, the Cleric doing the defensive buff spells, and the Priest doing the healing. So that's 4 different categories. And when I sat down with paper, I kind of gave numbers to each of the talents of each class. I gave a grade from 1 to 5, and I tried to make it so that not every class was a 5 for one thing and only a 1 for the rest. That would be too extreme. I wanted characters to feel a little bit more than just that. So I gave out some 2s and 3s, no 4s. No class has what I would deem to be a 4 in a certain category. Because, you know, like a ninja, okay, he might be good at dodging attacks, but you know, ninjas are good at fighting, right? So I gave him a 3 in attack. I think it's a bit on the low side, considering the theme. It's kind of odd to think that a rogue, due respect to all the rogues out there in real life, I like to believe that, and you know, in real life, no, basically in the fantasy media, we're used to, yeah, ninjas are better at fighting than rogues. So I'm not completely happy with that. But gameplay-wise, I think it's the best thing to have done. I mean, same thing with Vikings. I mean, Vikings in all ways do better damage than the ninjas. But but that's not what you would think. Time to heal up. Another thing is actually being able to cast a lot of spells. But I didn't find that very interesting. It's something the Sage used to have. I used the original version of the game. The Sage could cast more spells than any other of the casters, but I found out that people simply weren't using the at least I wasn't. I'm talking plural, but I was the only one playing it. I just didn't see a point of taking a priest or a cleric if you had a sage who not only had more spells, but could also, you know, have a wider selection of spells. So I turned that around, and that's why the sage can cast fewer spells than other casters, because, you know, being able to choose any spell in the game is very good. The sage still, though, has the talent of casting the spells the best because of his high intelligence score. Something that's kind of hard to see. Because the numbers are random, and I've never tested this, but I've played this often, and I do kind of sense a difference. There's about a 25% improvement. No, more like a 20% improvement between spells casted by sages and those cast by the other dedicated casters. But it's only 20%. It's kind of hard to tell. Nope, can't use that one. Whew, I should have healed up. You can do that. So yeah, the first thing I wanted in Final Fantasy... Oh, I'm running out of time. Okay, see you next time. Let's see if we can feed this.